Immigration is something widely known throughout our nation, especially here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Immigrants are widely scrutinized, and federal laws make it hard for them to live a life here in America.
If they come into America and do our dirty work and do our work, they want to at least be perceived as being the humans that they are.
Of course, the tensions around immigration are not new. On the one hand, we've always defined ourselves as a nation of immigrants, a nation that welcomes those willing to embrace America's precepts.
Pam Perlich, a professor at university, was asked a question, what would happen if all the immigrants left Utah? And she simply said, we'd all be gone.
It wouldn't exist, especially in this country, since as immigrants, this is a country of immigrants.
In Utah, the level of discrimination put on immigrants may be small, but it is there.
Socially, it depends on which group of Latinos you're with. And each one of them occupies a different place in the society. So there are people that mix very well with everybody that's here, are well accepted into the society as a whole.
And typically undocumented immigrants in Utah are objectified, in other words, not seen as people. They're objectified two ways, primarily. One is criminals. The other objectification that actually goes on here from corners of Utah society that welcome undocumented immigrants is that they only see them as workers.
You know, we as Americans have gotten used to the idea that if I live in this house, that space in front of my house is my parking space. That's BS. It belongs to the city and anybody can park there. So these are all problems of customs, problems of social integration that some of our people still haven't picked up. And as a result of that, there are some very unforgiving people who live in neighborhoods, not only Anglos, by the way.
Our nation's federal immigration laws have displayed our government's hostility towards immigrants who cross the border illegally.
Immigration laws are affecting us in a very negative way right now because we're perceived as being hostile, resentful of immigrants in this community, and that's not the Utah way.
Throughout the years, immigrants have fought to make their place in America.
We've protested. We've tried to bring the facts to the forefront. We've written letters to the editor. We've gathered in the Latino communities. We've given them pamphlets to let them know what their rights are. You know, they too, whether they're documented or undocumented, they do have rights in our country. So.
Immigration laws have always been the third rail of politics. No one wants to touch it. And until we have some people to do that, nothing's going to happen.
The law put into effect in Arizona has made it so even people who may not be undocumented immigrants are scared to go out into the public without being scrutinized.
The bill I'm about to sign into law, Senate Bill 1070, represents another tool for our state to use as we work to solve a crisis that we did not create and the federal government has refused to fix.
I think they're hostile, I think they're wrong, and I think they're hurtful. I think they're hateful in the sense that you want to punish people. It's not a matter of punishing, it's a matter of finding how do we reform our laws so to make it possible for people to come here and live in dignity and contribute to the American dream.
Les Robles has partnered with Paul Mero from the Sutherland Institute to construct a comprehensive plan to aid the lives of immigrants in Utah.
It's based on the idea of accountability. And as long as an undocumented immigrant, just like any other human being, is a person of goodwill, well then we ought to provide opportunities for those individuals.
Not only will this bill help those in Utah, but could potentially help immigrants all over the nation live a life they've come to live here in America.
One of the things we have to realize is that we live in a period of globalization. We shouldn't be turning inwards. We welcome immigrants who really know the American workforce, the American dream all the time.
I'm Lucy Florez reporting for TV West.